cosplay world, look what we have here. It's a nice hairpin. Now, if you're disappointed that you did not get something, be aware that I made more than one project, so stay tuned for the other 2 projects that I made. This is, of course, to demonstrate PlaStickCloth's ability, blah, 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 blah. And thanks for the ideas. The contest is it's kind of over. Yeah, it's over. Aside from what's in the video, we have one more project, which is a much larger project, but just as a quick demo to show you all the durability and functionality, all the awesome stuff of PlaStickCloth. I made a few quick things for you all. I'm hoping to also make a very large project of awesomeness, like a full costume of PlaStickCloth, once I do get those larger sheets. However, because it's kind of inconsistent and I can't really make a large sheet that's nice and usable at this point. I can kind of just make smaller sections. Sorry guys, but I will definitely make the project that has won the random drawing, which I will put on the Facebooks for them. This is a simple hairpin. You see me sticking down, heating up, stick it to itself. Pretty simple work. Cut out pieces, lay them over each other, heat them up, stick them. Boom. No, all you need is really a heat gun, and I'm using a hobby knife just so I don't burn my fingers on the heat. You want to be careful if you're overheating it, heating it too quickly, putting your fingers on hot things, you will get burned. Just be aware. You can hand it. I'm just being safe. I don't want people burning themselves, of course, working with these hot materials. Here we have me painting it up. Some simple white, red, and yellow. Raw yellow! If you've watched my other videos, you know how much I have had issues with the color yellow. But oh well. The winner of the contest via the drawing, not the ones I just kind of picked out to look that I thought were awesome. You're gonna be notified via Facebook. You have 24 hours, and you know what else? You know what happens, people? If that person does not reply in 24 hours, I will draw another name, so you still have a chance to win. Aside from the big project I hope to make once the Kickstarter takes off, and I have the bigger sheets. Be aware that I'm going to be launching the Kickstarter, so please show your support. That'd be awesome if we can all pull together cosplay community and get a nice, cheap, extremely durable, very awesome material for everyone to use. But enough plugging. As you can see, I'm just painting it up. Simple paint job. I'm not a really great artist, so please forgive me if you can paint so much better than me. I'm sure that you can. But I just wanted to paint this up and show it off. Also, I did 3 projects in one day, which is not typical for me. Even if they're small projects, I have to let them sun paint. I have to let them dry. And it was really kind of a rush, I guess. But still hoping to get this video. No, I will definitely get this video up on Wednesday, doing all the editing, all this other good stuff, and have it up for you all to see. And this is, of course, a hairpin, so I'm gluing that on to the back. There was already some hot glue on there, so I just heated it up, and I'm gonna stick it on. And it sticks pretty well to hot glue, even through the paint, which admittedly you probably don't want to. Paint doesn't make things stick any better, if that's obvious. But I just wanted to make sure it's a functional hairpin for the person who requested this. You also may have noticed I'm working on corkboard. I traditionally, or in the past, have been working on a metal surface. However, I didn't really have a very clean metal surface to work with. I was like, oh, this corkboard looks decently nice. I can use it as a background. Corkboard is kind of not very resilient to heat, so oh well, I singed it a little bit. Yeah, don't use corkboard. Use metal or wood to work with heat guns. There's just a little picture of it once it was done, and I'll paint it up, looking pretty good. Next we have some gauntlets. Now I wonder who wanted these gauntlets. So these are pretty simple, but still very nice, and I wanted to show off a few of the abilities here. That's why I chose it. You'll see later on that they do come on and off just like gauntlets, and that's pretty awesome. And I'm just going to cut these out pretty straightforward. I'm really excited. I hope that they like these. I worked too quickly. I'm gonna have to redo these because they fit me. I don't know if they'll fit the girl who wanted these. Girls' wrists tend to be a little thinner, but that's kind of actually a risk. They could have a thicker wrist than me. I'm pretty thin. Oh well. So if this is what you asked for, do contact me. If not, I'll poke you on Facebook in a little bit. That'll be awesome. And you can have these in the mails to you. I simply cut those out with the hot knife. If you guys don't know, the hot knife is a knife that is very hot, and it does a very good job of cutting through the plastic as well as the cloth. As the product's name comes from PlaStickCloth. It is plastic, it's sticky, and it's cloth. That's pretty straightforward. You figured it out. So one thing I want to talk about is when you're layering larger surfaces, you want to first stick on a section. As you can see here, I pinned one half of the lining or the edging there, and then I proceeded to glue down the rest of it, or stick down the rest of it. So if you try to do all at once, you can end up burning it, or it would cool down too quickly, and it's not very useful. So you want to do it section by section. And also, just to make sure that it's stuck on there really good, once it's down, hit it again from the other side to make sure that both the smooth and the coarse side are heated up and melted together. Just to make sure. You don't want it coming apart later on. Oh well, you saw I put a backing on there, and I'm using my can of spray paint to shape the gauntlets. Pretty straightforward. They'll hold their shape once you heat them up and shape them to a can. Yes, isn't that awesome that it's not only sticky to itself, and it holds shapes once you cool it, heat it up, and bend it. Now, for heavier armor, much bulkier armor, I wouldn't really use this. I might use EPS foam, might use PVC, but for light armor, absolutely wonderful. For accessories, for props, for things like that, yeah, great. Even for the heavier armor and the crazy bulky armor, detail work is great with this too. But as you can see, it's pretty thin. I can get it thicker, but well, yeah, I can get it thicker, but the stuff I have right now isn't too thick. So if you want a really thick, heavy armor, you probably want to go with something else. So let's be honest, cosplayers. I'm not trying to be a jackass about this. But as you can see, it has a huge amount of uses. As I'm sitting here putting a snap into the gauntlet or the bracelets or whatever these are. Now that's something that you don't see in a lot of materials you make armor out of. Now I'm just simply going to take some pliers because that's what I had on hand for the camera. Was I got a pair of pliers, and I'm going to stick these and make sure that they hold in place. But that's really all it takes is to punch those holes through and stick the snap in place. Now the one that's going to go on the back of the metal plate there, the decorative plate, I don't want that to show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach it onto a base kind of section plate in the background, and I'm going to stick that onto the gauntlet. I don't want the snap showing through, so I'm going to hide that in the inner workings of the gauntlet or bracer or bracelet. Well, you guys get the idea of what it is. Anyway, pliers again, just showing that off, how it doesn't really take much to get that to go on through. I'm going to heat the little rectangle up, and I'm going to stick that on. Oh, of course I cut the rectangle a little bit so it more easily contours to the edge of the plate, the decorative plate. I don't want those weird little corners sticking out looking awkward. There we go. That look good. That looks pretty good, right? Boom. Stick them together. It sticks in place. Snap them together. Snap. I think I was fighting with it. There we go. And there we have it. Now, I went and put on a few details, and I just want to show how it's done. I cut them out pretty simply and bent them into a little bit of shape, and I'm going to heat them up and stick them on in just a second. At this point, you probably got a good idea how it works. PlaStickCloth isn't super hard to work with. It's definitely not something that you can use hot water with. You need a hairdryer or an iron. Oh, I need to show off an iron technique, using an iron in the next video, but Yeah, you can use an iron to do applique work, which is pretty awesome. And a heat gun or a very strong hair dryer will do the job. Now here we go. Time to spray paint. All gold. I'm gonna let that sit overnight to cure. I don't want the paint streaking or looking weird when I go over it with the more details. This is one of the reasons I think I said that the video is kind of late, because painting, you rush it and then looks so good. I'm not the best painter in the first place, so not something I'm trying to do. But there we go, painting it up. Nice red acrylic paint over the spray paint. It does. I did some edge work with the M or W or whatever it is, and all the little details on the top for the decorative section. And here I'm going to take it off, take that snap off, working a camera and taking a bracelet off and then trying to keep it in frame. There we go. As you can see, there's the snap, and snap it back in place. Boom. Awesome. There we go. Now for our last project. Oh wait, I want to show this off too. There we go. There's a picture of one open and one closed. This is our last project. Look at that. That's a quarter next to it, if you guys didn't know. That is a pretty fine detail. If you're looking for detail, I think this is a very excellent example of it. And here I'm doing, what is it, open work or cut work or whatever the case may be, with a hobby knife. I just got a pattern. There was another pattern suggested in the comments. I don't believe that this person actually wanted the bracelet in question. They were just curious as to whether it could pull off that sort of detail. Now, the detail that they showed off, I think, is used a very much thicker material, like a 3mm or so. So I maybe not, but also I couldn't get the printout in order to cut it out like I'm doing here. So yes, this still will cut out an extremely high detail. If you can see, there's a ruler next to me, and this thing's what, an 1.5 inches wide about. This whole piece I'm cutting out. That's pretty small. You can see me working with the hot knife again, cutting these pieces out and pulling them out. Now the camera goes in and out of focus a few times just because my hand gets in the way. Sorry about that. But it's still very nice. Look, I'm working on the smaller leaves now. I'm not going to cut out the kind of the line sections near the right side of the flower, just because I'm pretty sure those wouldn't show very well even if I did take a picture. They would just show up as lines, and I think the pattern itself looks a little better with just the flower. I'm going to cut the little stamens out, yeah, from the flower stamen, yes, so that you can. I do show that it can cut the kind of detail out, which is extremely small. We're talking like millimeters here. I'm going to pull out just to show me cleaning up the edges here. You can hit it with a little bit of heat just to get rid of any kind of fray that might be left over. It coils up and kind of withers away if you have any fray, even with that small detail. Now you see me cutting those little stamens or the reproductive part of the flower out. You see me cutting that out, and I'm just going to take off the pattern I have here, and it's a little bit more work than I would have liked, but that's fine. Now, when I was thinking about it, I didn't quite plan what I was going to do with it, so I'm just going to kind of make a brooch out of it. I stuck it to back and put a hairpin there. I guess it's a hairpin, but I just want to show off that detail and its awesomeness, so I put a little backing on there and a hairpin to make it look good. Also, I wanted to frame it up because the shape isn't great. I just cut out a random shape. I should have thought about that. Maybe make it oval, make it a little cleaner, but there we are. Again, I'm going to hit it with some gold spray paint to give it more of a steampunk look here, because I imagine that this sort of jewelry would be very nice in a steampunk kind of theme. And just to bring out the details, I'm going to play with focus a little bit more just to try and get the picture in there. There's the ruler again, showing the detail, and I'm gonna try and show you me painting it in there with one of my smaller brushes. This isn't a hobby or a model size brush, but it's still pretty small. And you can see the original pattern so that you have a reference of what it's supposed to look like as to how the final project came out. They are mirrored to each other, so that's, I think it's just the amount of detail you can get out of the hair is just crazy. I'm trying to zoom in and show you all that awesomeness. Now, if you're cutting this out and you have a level of detail, that's amazing. Someone really has to get up on the piece in order to see the detail at this point. I painted a little bit black there, that's fine. Yeah, I just repainted with gold. But there you have it. That is PlaStickCloth. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you look forward to the stuff I'm going to make for you. I hope I can get the support of the cosplay community to bring this material to everyone. Stay tuned for the Kickstarter campaign, and I just want to thank all of you for sticking around. Thanks for watching, guys. Good times to all.